Police in Detroit shoot a lot of dogs. We did the research. 100 canines shot at by police in the past 3 years. But local animal rescuers say the issue is complicated.
There's a story behind those numbers, really.
Absolutely.
Police work, of course, means making tough split-second decisions. It comes with the job.
That's right, and sometimes those quick decisions involve the use of lethal force against man's best friend. Local 4 investigative reporter Karen Drew spent months gathering and going through the numbers of Detroit police dog shooting incidents, and she joins us now with what all she's uncovered. Karen.
Well, Devin and Kim, over the next 90 minutes, we are going to take a deep dive into the deadly dog issue in Detroit. Canines being killed by cops, why it's happening, what can be done to solve the problem. But first, we start with the issue at hand. The city of Detroit has a serious stray dog problem. It's a common sight, stray dogs roaming neighborhoods in Detroit. We caught this guy over on Michigan Avenue around 24th Street.
I have no idea how many dogs in population here.
Lori Soul manages Detroit's animal control.
I can tell you it's a big population.
Last month, more homeless dogs wound up at Detroit's animal shelter than any time in the past 3 years. So how did it get so bad? Experts say it was the 2009 housing explosion. Everyone left their homes and then left their dogs, and then those dogs repopulated. Then COVID hit and people got more dogs and the population grew even larger.
And now all the people that have COVID dogs that, have to go back to work, now they're faced with, what do I do?
After reading through dozens of incident reports and sorting out the data, it was clear stray dogs were being shot by Detroit police officers. In the reports, it was often mentioned the dogs were aggressive. We also noticed some disturbing trends. In 2020, Detroit police officers were involved in 24 dog shooting incidents. In 2021, it was 32. And then last year, 44 dogs were shot by cops in the city. Most of them died.
There's an incredible amount of irresponsible dog owners in the city of Detroit.
This is a large dog area.
Detroit Dog Rescue, one of the several groups that try to save Detroit's abandoned and neglected dogs.
We see a lot of dogs tethered or left in backyards or left in abandoned houses, and what they turn into are socially sensory deprived dogs.
Yes! Very good.
We followed Christina Rinaldi and her team around for years, showing what they do and how they try to help.
Detroit has come such a long way, and I feel so lucky to see the progression, but we also have to be realistic. We have abandoned houses, where drug dealers are storing dogs and drugs. We have crime, just like any city. We have stray dogs, just like any city.
So if other cities have stray dogs, that got us asking, how does Detroit compare to other cities when it comes to shooting dogs? That part of the investigation coming up at 5:45. And I have to tell you, what we found in those comparisons, really troubling.
Well, you mentioned Detroit residents' responsibility. I assume when they break the law, they get ticketed, right?
Right. You think that's going to make some impact, but we found out that's not necessarily the case. Detroit Animal Control issues citations for dog law violations for things like having an unlicensed dog or maybe a loose dog. So far this year, we did the research. More than 250 tickets were issued in Detroit for animal violations, but animal control citations are usually ignored by the people who get them. So the problems continue. So there are really many, many issues here that need to be tackled. Again, I'm back at 5:45 with some startling numbers about how serious this issue is in our city.
My dog was in his yard protecting what he's supposed to protect. He wasn't running loose.
But his dog was shot and killed on his property, inside his fence. That's at 5:45. Then at 6, I'm going one-on-one with an assistant chief with Detroit Police to talk about this issue of cops killing canines. The numbers are on the rise in the recent years.
It's so tough. Such a hard issue to get our hands around, but more coming up. All right, Karen.